Hey royal family, welcome to the front row. And I thought, since it is November and I am in the mood to talk about me and some of the things I've accomplished and some of the things I had to go through to get to where I am, I thought it would be fitting to do it in November because it is birthday month. It is important to celebrate who you are and why you're here on earth, and the fact that you are a miracle and that you have greatness within you. And that is something that you must celebrate. We're not here for no reason. We're not here just to kill time. We are literally here to make a difference. As a little girl, I remember recording myself. I would take a packet of chips and eat it and record the sound effect and this is beautiful, this is delicious, and almost creating that theater of the mind situation. And then I would take a newspaper and I would read and pretend as if I was a news anchor, because that was something that I glorified, being on CNN and BBC. I just wanted to be that kind of personality that was relating the news to the people. So I would often record myself and I would play it back and I would listen to it. In fact, it's so crazy that sometimes I do it even now with my phone. I record things just to check if I still have the ability to speak in a certain way, to do different accents in a certain way, to relay messages in the way that I want it to be relayed, and it's just good practice. But I had been doing it my whole life. I'm not realizing that I really wanted to be in radio, because at the time that I was doing it, I actually wanted to go into health science. And then one day, I was walking with my parents and we were walking on the promenade at the Durban beachfront. And we would often go there on the weekends because it was the cheapest place for us to get like ice cream. We'd get like 2 ice creams and we'd share it with our family of 4. I remember it being like 2 rand or something. And just that act of walking on the promenade, eating your ice cream, sharing this family time was a special memory, and it is still something that we really cherish. We obviously don't have time to do it now as often, but it was something that we did quite often when I was little. And I remember being like really, really young, and there was a show that was happening at the Durban beachfront, and I remember like leaning over the fence and saying to my parents, I would love to do this one day. And they looked at me and they said, you will. And that, I think, was the introduction of me manifesting things, that I could get something done just because I thought about it, just because I believed in it enough and I focused my energy on it enough. But also I didn't obsess over it. And then I continued with whatever I wanted to do. I got into health science, and then I realized I don't really want to do this. I had a 4-hour conversation with my parents and they said, okay, if you want to go from muscle and bone to media and communications, then you can do it, but you're gonna have to like make it happen, because they don't have the money, and I'm chopping and changing and I'm so undecided, because even at the time I didn't even know if that was kind of a career that I wanted to get in. Anyway, be that as it may, got into media and communications and then immediately started applying for internships. I remember applying at commercial radio stations, local radio stations, I applied to television, I applied everywhere, and I got responses from 3 places, 2 of which said to me, we're very happy to have you on board, and we would like you to send us your final results when you complete your 3rd year, and then we can look into an internship. Being as hasty as I was, that was not enough for me. And then the 3rd response I got, hi Roanna, set up a meeting with my secretary and we can get things started. And I was obsessive over that. Like, I sent an email, I called the receptionist, I called and called and called, my dad called, and then they phoned me and they said, you have an interview. I went in for an interview. I met a wonderful station manager. I don't think I would have been where I am today in my career had it not been for him and for his belief in me as this little girl with no background, no connections. And all he said to me was, "Why do you want to be here?" And she said, "Because I love the atmosphere." And he said, "What would I do differently?" And I said, "Well, I think it's working already. So I don't know if I'm going to want to do something different, but I would like to be better and grow and make things better as time goes by." He found something in me when I spoke to him. He said there was this spark, and he said he would like me to do a demo. So I went downstairs to a studio which I never knew what looked like ever, and I was so thrilled. And I met a producer, and they said to me, "Okay, you can do your recording now and we'll then decide." So I did the recording. It took me like 10 minutes to do it. I wrote down a few things, I recorded it, I did it in 2 takes. I called it Roll the Dice with Roanna. So embarrassing. But that was the thing that got me in. And I finally got an internship at a national station that propelled me to be the person that I am today. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity. But had that not happened, I don't think I would have been who I am today. And just, working on the shows, I was there for probably about 8 to 9 years, just working the shows, eventually being recognized as the youngest producer, being recognized for my craft was such a beautiful thing, because with every dream that you realize, you're going to get those people that just wonder how you got in. One of my aunts said to me, "How did you get in? What did you have to do to get in?" And people sort of made it like it was a dirty practice that I needed to do to get into a radio station or do some stuff on TV, which I've done, because it was so unheard of. Someone who was literally born in a family that didn't have any connections and got into something like this. So it was a big achievement, and my parents were proud, but also borderline showing off, I think. But that was really the manifestation of getting things that you really truly believe in, and working really, really hard to prove yourself. I would be there at 5 a.m. and more often than not leave after 10 p.m. and back again at 5. And I was a full-time student as well. So I was drained, undernourished, overworked. But there was a dream, there was something that I needed to achieve. And eventually got my own talk show and really propelled. And again, with the entertainment industry or the media industry, it's very ruthless. And sometimes you got to leave on a high. It got to a point where it was becoming a bit too toxic, and I needed to choose a career path that was more profitable for me. And as I was getting older, I was kind of realizing, okay, maybe now I need to make decisions like I need healthcare, I need retirement annuities, I need benefits, etc., etc. I remember being given the first time ever to go on air, and they said you can do the talk show on the 25th of December 2006. And I was like, what? Obviously I said yes, but I had no idea how I was going to do this. I was so nervous that I actually wrote my name on the script. My name is Roanna Bala, and I was so nervous, and I knew everybody was listening, because Christmas was a time that my family and the whole world just was listening, and it was gruesome. It was very gruesome. I was so nervous. I didn't even handle the desk. That's how new I was. But it was the best experience, and I think that being thrown into the deep end and really experiencing that is what everybody should experience, because when you're thrown into the deep end, you get to learn to swim. You either swim or you sink, and it's up to you. And that was the greatest lesson. People think that talking comes naturally to me. It didn't for a very long time. I put in the hours. They say you got to put in 10,000 hours to really be great at something. I did the groundwork. I've been doing this since I was a little girl. And because of me continuing doing the same thing over and over and over, when the opportunity came my way, I was ready to receive it. So it had nothing to do with luck. I was ready when the opportunity came my way. And that is something very, very important. And that's a huge lesson. And I take a lot of pride in learning that lesson so early in my life, because with everything in life, the more you prepare, the luckier you get. I think really the reason for me wanting to share this story with you is not so much about the fact that I was on radio or I did a little stint in the media. It really is to share with you that anything is possible if you truly believe in your skills and yourself, and you have a dream and you want to put yourself out there. It will come true. But when you want something, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the work, and you have to really, really own it. I worked so damn hard to just be seen or noticed for a couple of hours, but I learned gold information behind closed doors. And I really think that was the start of my journey of manifesting things. It was the start of my journey for learning about how to speak, how to articulate, how to be personal but not private, how to segment my content in a certain way. I mean, YouTube is just an avenue of what radio had taught me. It exposed me to a media world that I never knew I had in me to tackle. And it taught me how to be resilient, persistent. It taught me how to eat large amounts of feces to just get ahead. And it also taught me that when the journey is ready to end, then walk away with grace and always have your reputation intact. And that is the fundamentals of being successful. And I think if you just take something away from the story, take away the fact that when you have a dream it, visualize it, have a clear indication of what you want to do, and work damn hard to get it done. And when it's time to leave, know that you left and you've exhausted it to the best of your ability. With that, I hope I have somehow showed you in a way why manifestations are so powerful. And I hope the story really does help you in some way. If you liked the story, if you want more stories like this, then do click that subscribe button, click the notifications bell, and you'll get notifications on when my videos are up. And give this video a thumbs up, comment below. It does help me, all of this engagement. And I really want to hear from you, because it does mean a lot to me. In the month of November, I'll be talking a lot about my stories and my lessons from those stories. So I hope that it will help you. I'll catch you on the next video. Keep it royal.